Jeremy the Machine Scott here. I just finished grocery shopping and I'm going to share with you some of the items that were on my grocery list today. These are the foods that you need to eat to get bigger, leaner, stronger, and faster. First, we're going to start with my favorite, carbohydrates. I got myself some strawberries. I like strawberries if you're going to eat fruit. The best option if you want to lose weight or if you want to get your body fat down lower is to stick with strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. Any of the berries are low on the glycemic index and they're high in fiber, so they are the best for weight loss. Second, for carbohydrates, I got some whole wheat bread. Make sure that you use bread sparingly. You don't need to use it too often. It's not the best source of carbohydrates. It's a little bit higher on the glycemic index, but at the end of the day, no matter what, if you're trying to lose weight, the most important thing is to make sure you're eating in a caloric deficit, okay? If you eat in a caloric deficit, that's how you're gonna lose weight and that's how you're gonna drop body fat. Fad diets don't work, the caloric deficit diet works. Remember that. Next, we've got mangoes. Mangoes are by far my favorite fruit. So I got such a big pack of these. These come in a 6-pack and they smell so good and they're ripe and they're huge and they're heavy and they're just perfect. So mangoes are good. You can put a little bit of some lime on them. You can put some tahini on them. So you can, dress them up a little bit and make them taste good. Mangoes are definitely, unfortunately, mangoes aren't in season all year round. So when they are in season, I definitely take advantage of these. So if you don't eat mangoes, you're missing out. Next, for carbohydrates, pears. So pears is another option for fruit. Once again, it doesn't really matter what kind of fruit, unless you're really trying to drop a lot of body fat and lose weight. You want to stick to, like I said, berries, but pears, apples, oranges, pineapple is good. Just use fruit in moderation. Keep in mind that fruit does have a lot of sugar, and that sugar can very easily be converted into excess body fat if you're not careful. Fruit is an okay option for carbohydrates. It's not something that you want to eat with every single meal throughout the day, especially if you're a competitor and you're trying to really get that body fat down to single digits. Or the only time that I have my clients cut out fruit is if they are a competitive bodybuilder or a bikini competitor and it's the last few weeks before the show and we're really just trying to dry out and get that paper thin skin, then we cut out the fruit. Other than that, fruit is great, has a lot of fiber, gives you good energy before a workout, can help replenish your glycogen stores after your workout, and it's got a lot of good micronutrients in it as well, and it has a lot of vitamins in it as well. So definitely make sure you have fruit for maybe 1 or 2 meals throughout the day. And last but not least, I got myself some limes, something that I use to just dress up my food a little bit. I might squeeze some lime on my fish, I might squeeze it on my turkey, maybe if I'm making ground turkey tacos. I'm always talking about those because I always eat them because it's a very good, healthy option and it just sometimes tastes like you're having a cheat meal and it makes you really full and it's very high in protein. Good carbohydrates if you use the right tortillas. So limes you can put on just about anything you want to. Put it on your chicken, you can put it on your salmon, they go great. It's another option to put on your food other than lemons. Alright, now let's move on to vegetables. So today I picked broccoli. The store that I go to, it's a big bag of broccoli, so this is gonna last me quite a few meals. I'm gonna let you in on a little meal prep secret. Sometimes if you're cooking for the week, especially with your vegetables, if you boil them in water, by the end of the week, on the 5th or 6th day, your vegetables will get rotten. If you want your vegetables to last a little bit longer and you are boiling them, do not overcook them. Leave them a little bit crunchy. Or the other option, bake them in the oven. If you bake them in the oven, it tends to dry them out a little bit. If you prefer that taste, it's okay, but they're gonna last a little bit longer for meal prep purposes. So you can bake them in the oven at about 350 to 400 for 10 to 15 minutes. Carrots, these are good to snack on. In my opinion, they taste a little bit sweet, or you can chop them up and put them in your ground turkey, your pasta, chop it up with your chicken, put a little bit in your rice. This just gives your food a different texture and it will make your rice or your ground turkey or your ground beef, will make it a little bit more crunchy. So I'm all about texture, so I like to put different vegetables in my food. Sometimes I use eggplant, sometimes I'll use mushrooms, Sometimes I'll use kale just to switch it up so you're not eating the same thing over and over again. And I also give these to my dogs as well. Very healthy. All right, we are moving on to fats. Today, for my fats, I chose Blue Diamond almonds, lightly salted with sea salt. Sometimes I use cashews, but for some reason, when it comes to cashews, it's one of those foods where once I have a few of them, I just can't seem to stop eating them. Cashews are extremely addicting, so I got something that I don't like as much. So these are almonds. I can have 1 ounce of almonds or 2 ounces of almonds and I'm not going to crave more. So it's not something that's going to be hard for me to stop eating. When you're eating fats, peanut butter, almonds, cashews, it's very, very, very easy to go over your calories and end up being in a caloric surplus when you're eating fats because they're very, very high in calories. So you got to be a little bit careful with fats. Use them in moderation. Avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, all those things. You got to be very careful with those. Protein. So of course, as we know, I had to pick myself up a hot rotisserie chicken. That's one of the things I like to do when I go to the grocery store is after I'm done shopping, I come home and I make myself a nice meal. I eat about half of the chicken and then we've got fish. A lot of people don't like fish. I love to add fish into my diet because it's very, very lean. And if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to drop body fat, I highly recommend adding fish into your diet. I just noticed that when I use fish as my source of protein, my body really starts to respond really quick to, especially if it's white fish, which is really lean. So I got canned tuna. Sometimes I make tuna sandwiches. Be very, very careful with the mayo. Once again, we're talking about those fats. Those fats can make you go over your calories very easy. So use the mayo in moderation, a little bit of lettuce, a couple slices of whole wheat toast, and you're good to go. Once again, meals like that, I use it in moderation. That's almost like a cheat meal to me because of what's in it, the mayonnaise and the bread. So I have about 1 can of tuna at a time. Today I decided to switch it up. Normally I go with a white fish like tilapia, cod, flounder. Today I want to switch it up and I'm actually trying to eat some more anti-inflammatory foods. Salmon falls into the list of anti-inflammatory foods. So salmon has very, very good healthy fats in it. Once again, careful with salmon because salmon is a little bit higher in calories than your tilapia, your swai, your cod, and your flounder. So make sure you keep in track so you don't go over those calories. Or if your goal is to gain weight and gain lean muscle mass, then salmon's really going to help you get your calories up, and it's good, clean calories. Next up, we've got cage-free organic brown eggs. So once again, as we discussed before, you gotta watch out with your ratio of eggs when you're having eggs in the morning. If you're having 6 whole eggs, you might want to change the ratio up. You might want to have, 3 eggs and 3 egg whites, or 3 eggs and 6 egg whites. The ratio should probably be less whole egg and more egg whites if you want to really keep your body fat at a moderate level. So I use eggs throughout the day. Sometimes I'll put it on my chicken and rice when I'm cooking it in the pan. Just gives it a little bit of flavor. And I'll just use these throughout the day with any of my meals to help me to get my protein intake up. In my opinion, eggs go with any meal. Any meal that you're having, throw a couple eggs on the side or throw a couple egg whites on the side. If you're having a hard time getting your protein intake up, throw some eggs in your diet. It's very easy. Cage-free liquid egg whites. This is a staple of my diet. Every single day, every single morning, you see me eating egg whites. They're super high in protein and they're very, very low in fat. It's the best way to start your day. Your macronutrients are gonna be on point. Next, we've got non-fat plain Greek yogurt. So 3/4 cup has 0 grams of fat, 6 carbs, and we've got 6 sugars. A little bit higher than what I would like, but still not that bad if you're very, very active and you're doing your cardio and you're consistent with your workouts. 6 grams of sugar is nothing. And then we've got 18 grams of protein. This is one of my favorite snacks to have at the end of the night. Normally late at night, I'm not very hungry and I don't feel like cooking. I don't feel like chewing food. So I'll have about 8 ounces of Greek yogurt, a little bit of fruit in there, cinnamon, a little bit of stevia, a little bit of protein powder, and it's a perfect before bed snack. You don't want to go to bed on a really, really full stomach. It's a little bit uncomfortable to sleep like that. And we've got ground turkey, 93% lean, 7% fat. So we've got in 4 ounces, 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 21 grams of protein. So that's a very good ratio. The fats are still pretty low. Do eat a lot of turkey all throughout the day. Just be careful because your fats can start to add up. So I normally limit my ground turkey meals maybe to 1, sometimes 2 meals. I would rather get my fats from other sources like avocado, peanut butter, almond butter, almonds, cashews, things like that. I like to eat. So I'd rather eat more food instead of have a protein source that's higher in fat. So that's what I do when it comes to ground turkey. This is my grocery list. Very simple, very clean. The only thing that I'm gonna add to my meal prep is maybe some baked sweet potatoes or baked white potatoes, maybe a little bit of brown rice, and I'm gonna get this food cooked and I'm gonna weigh it out. I'm gonna have it ready and prepared in my Tupperware, and I'm gonna have my food ready for the rest of the week. That's how you stay on point. Make sure your grocery list looks just like this. If you want to write these foods down, just add baked sweet potatoes or add potatoes or add rice to it. Other than that, you have a perfect and complete grocery list right here. Eat these foods and you will get to your fitness goals. Eat these foods and you will start to see your body change. Make sure you stay on track and don't give up. Even when it gets hard, even if you mess up. If you can't stick to the diet plan and you mess up, that's okay. Don't get discouraged, don't give up. Tomorrow's a new day. Keep trying over and over and over again until you get it down. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below. Jeremy the Machine Scott, out!